The greatest moment at Milwaukee County Stadium took place on September 23, 1957. From 1903 to 1952, the Boston Braves were one of the laughingstocks of baseball. Even though they won 2 National League pennants and a World Series in that span, they would finish in last place 9 times, lose 100 or more games 11 times, and have only 12 seasons finishing above the second division. In 1953, they moved to Milwaukee, and for their next 4 seasons, they played much better baseball, finishing no lower than 3rd place. By 1957, they had put together an excellent ball club, led by the bats of Hank Aaron and Eddie Matthews, and the pitching trio of Warren Spahn, Lou Burdett, and Bob Boole. The Braves would get off to a fast start, winning 12 of their first 14 games, and it was looking like this might be the year they had thrown the Brooklyn Dodgers as National League champions. However, the team would cool off, and for several weeks would play .500 baseball, and then on July 10th were in 2nd place, 3 games behind the St. Louis Cardinals. But Milwaukee would win their next 3 games, and then win 7 of their next 10 to take over 1st place, and for the next few weeks, they had become the hottest team in baseball, winning 10 straight games at one point, and on August 15th had an 8-game lead. After the team struggled again and had their lead shrink to 2.5 on September 15th, they'd catch fire once again and win 6 straight, and their magic number for clinching the National League pennant was 2, with 6 games remaining. On September 23rd, they had a 3-game series at home against the 2nd-place Cardinals, and 40,926 people flocked to the ballpark to see if the Braves could clinch their 3rd National League title, and with Lou Burdett starting, the chances looked good. After a scoreless first, the Braves would threaten in the 2nd, loading the bases with nobody out. After a pitching change, Wes Covington would come to the plate and hit a sacrifice fly to give the Braves a 1-0 lead. Milwaukee would have a few more scoring chances, but the score would remain 1-0 through 5 innings. In the top of the 6th, the Cardinals would get to Burdett. With a runner at first and 1 out, Stan Musial came to the plate and hit a double to right to put runners at 2nd and 3rd. Burdett then walked Irv Noren to load the bases, and 1 out later, Alvin Dark came to the plate and hit a single to center to give the Cardinals a 2-1 lead. But in the bottom of the 7th, it was Milwaukee's turn. Red Schoendienst led off with a single, and after a sacrifice, Eddie Matthews came up and hit a double to right to score Schoendienst to tie the game. Then, in the top of the 8th, the Cardinals would threaten. After Wally Moon led off with a walk, Stan Musial would single to send Moon to 3rd. Irv Noren would come to the plate and hit a ground ball to shortstop Johnny Logan, and Moon would try to score. Logan would throw the ball home, and Moon would be caught in a rundown and get tagged out at the plate. With runners now at 1st and 2nd with 1 out, Del Ennis came up and grounded to Logan to move the runners 90 feet for Alvin Dark, with another opportunity to give St. Louis the lead. But this time, Burdett would retire him on a ground ball, and the score remained tied. In the bottom of the inning, Del Crandall would come up with 2 out and hit a single to right to bring up Burdett, who would hit a ground ball to 3rd base, and it looked like the Cardinals were out of the inning, but Eddie Casco had misplayed the ball, and instead of the inning being over, the Braves now had the go-ahead run in scoring position for Schoendienst, but Schoendienst would pop out to end the inning. The game would remain tied in the bottom of the 10th when Joe Adcock would lead off with a walk, and 1 out later, Wes Covington would single to center, and the run that would send the Braves to the World Series was 90 feet away with only 1 out. Following an intentional walk, pinch hitter Frank Torrey came to the plate with a chance to be a hero, but would ground into a double play, and the game would go to the 11th, still tied at 2. In the bottom half of the inning, Johnny Logan would come to the plate with 1 out and single to center for Matthews, who would fly out. With 2 out now, it seemed very likely that the game was going to head into the 12th when Hank Aaron came to the plate. But in what would be an MVP season, Aaron launched a fly ball into center field that brought the fans to their feet and sent them into a frenzy when the ball sailed over the fence to give the Milwaukee Brewers their 1st National League pennant and 3rd in franchise history. The Braves would go on to defeat the New York Yankees in a memorable fall classic and would win another National League pennant the next year before moving to Atlanta in 1966, but Major League Baseball would return when the city was awarded the Milwaukee Brewers in 1970. And for Hank Aaron, his pennant-clinching walk-off was just the beginning. Hammerin' Hank would go on to a Hall of Fame career and break Babe Ruth's record for career home runs and RBIs.